Growing up, a lot of my friends, they didn't come from Christian backgrounds or Christian homes. I was raised in a Christian home, so my dad always told me, like, like you can't be doing those things that your friends are doing. I was getting into a lot of the same things that they were doing. We started drinking as young as 13. These guys start coming into my life, and at 16, that was sort of like the height of when I gave myself away. I remember laying in my room for 3 days, bawling my eyes out because I didn't know what to do. So I remembered, like, God, please just take my life because I can't take my own. I sat at the edge of my bed and I had a whole bottle of pills in my bag. And the enemy is just lying to me, just do it, just do it. There's nothing to live for. You can't break free from this. You can't break free from your past. You can't break free from what you've done.
Thankfully, the story doesn't end there. Joining me in the studio is 23-year-old Shavina Gladue from northern Alberta, Wabasca. What a courageous young woman you are, Shavina. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now you've left us at a cliffhanger. You're in your room by yourself alone. You've got your bag and pills inside the bag, and you're hearing all these voices saying, "Just take your life," but you hear a different voice. What happens next?
I just remember the feeling that I got, like, after hearing the voice say, "Go and get your dad to pray for you." And at that time, because everything was so heavy, God really just put that in me in that moment. And when I was able to finally muster up the strength to get up and go, I remember I went to where my dad was. And I remember I just told my dad, in short, I've been in a really bad place. Can you please pray for me? And it was like, as soon as he started praying for me, from the top of my head right down to my feet, I just felt this peace just overtake me. And that was the beginning of God, like, starting a real work where I started to see God from a very real perspective and not just because of what he said. And that's it.
So God becomes real to you with your dad. He's praying for you. And, I know that you had mentioned before that you ended up finding a community, a fresh start in Edmonton. But for so many young people, from the travels that I've done and some of the travels that you do, this story is not unique to you. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of other young people struggling with the same suicide, depression, anxiety. And, you're invited into some of those communities and you go as a singer, songwriter, worship leader. What's the message about Christ that you give to those young people?
If I could say anything to a young person, just given my background, I might have been raised in a Christian home, but you can walk through some messed up stuff, and it doesn't matter what kind of background you come from. It doesn't matter what you've done. God will accept you the moment you call in his name and say, "God, I need your help." And it doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're black, if you're white. He will take you as you are and love you and restore you back to life. And being in Edmonton at my home church, that really, the people God brought into my life at that time really spoke to me that way. And it really brought that to life.
And it caused you to see your identity, your worth, your value is that you're somebody who can make a difference. And I know you've got a passion in your heart. I know that God spoke to you and he's calling you to do something this summer that will reach your community. What is it that he's asked you to do?
Well, originally God had spoke to me this past summer about doing a 30-day revival. And I've never done anything like that, so it's really big. But this summer we've agreed we're going to be doing a 1-week revival at my homeland, which is Wabasca, Alberta. And I'm really excited for it.
Mm-hmm. So there'll be youth workshops on how to overcome abuse, suicide prevention, food. I hear you're going to have lots of food.
Lots of food.
And it's just a time for the community to come together and experience this love of Christ that's impacted you, and you want it to overflow into them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Shavina.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. We're supporting you.
Thank you so much.